She's been called a villain, the truth teller, a chaos agent, and now one of the most talked about stars on Bravo. Today, Kristen Doute joins me to talk about what this season of The Valley reveals about where she is in life right now, what it's been like sharing such personal moments on screen, and what she hopes audiences will take away from this chapter. I'm Chris Vetrano, and this is The Gist. Hello and welcome to The Gist. I'm your host, Chris Vetrano, and today I'm joined by Kristen Doute, one of the stars of The Valley and someone audiences have connected with for years because of how real she is on screen. Kristen, thank you so much for being here today.
That was such a sweet intro. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Yeah. This season, which I just can't believe that it's already been 3 seasons of The Valley, and you show such a layered version of your life. And I'd love to just start with talking about how does this chapter feel for you?
I mean, filming with a 3-month-old, barely 3-month-old was definitely difficult. It had its moments as you've seen and will continue to see. But I don't know. I'm really happy that we decided to show Kaya, that Luke and I decided to have her on the show. And I've never been anything but exactly who I am. So without that part of me, especially, which is like the biggest part of my life now, it wouldn't be honest and truthful. But it was hard. And you see the struggles. It's like every time I see Nia and it's like the juxtaposition of like Nia's like floating when she walks, and the baby's like Addie's like strapped to her body, and then I'm there like clunking around like, baby, are you okay? But I've heard from a lot of moms that they really understand.
Yeah, having knowing a lot of new moms and what they go through, especially right after having the baby. Like I can't imagine just jumping in front of a camera and living that all out. So, I mean, kudos to you for even doing that. And I think you're definitely like inspiring and showing women that it it is hard at times. And I think showing that real side of you is what you have always done so well.
Thank you. I mean, I give a lot of props to like the one of the beauties I feel of social media because we all know it has, its beauties and its beast. But
Hmm.
one of the beauties is like all of the moms I've been able to connect to because of the show, because of just, social media in general. But like the moms out there who are showing their authenticity made it easier for me to show.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have to imagine the valley, that is like kind of the biggest difference from where you used to be and where you got introduced to us on Vanderpump is that this must feel much more meaningful to connect with audiences in this way.
It's definitely more meaningful than, like a microwave and an air conditioner that don't work at the same time that comes in Animal's old apartment
Right.
or Tips It Sir. And I think I love our show because I feel like it fits this little like kind of niche like middle ground that we don't have right now because we have like the party shows and then we have like the housewives. We have like
Hmm.
the struggling youngsters and then where's that middle ground? So,
Yeah.
and I feel like our audience from Vanderpump has really grown up with us, so they're like the same age that we are now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like that you guys are all letting the cameras in and audiences into such personal parts of your life, which this is at a transitional time where with babies and marriages and all of that stuff, there is so much to kind of get into. And also you guys are maintaining real relationships on the show. But how is that, or how do you protect the real relationships, whether it's in your own home or with this group of friends? While also being so open on camera.
I mean, I think communication's like the a number one thing. It's something that Luke and I like we've said this on the show, but I've always really looked up to Danny and Nia because of how they maintain such a strong relationship with each other while going through everything they're going through. And I know a lot of people on the internet or even on our show, cast members have said like they didn't feel that Danny and Nia were always so upfront and honest. And I think it's just a different delivery, like the delivery that Nia has versus the delivery that I have. But
Mm,
I think what's so important as far as like protection is still being honest, being vulnerable, but having your partner's back, having your friends back, and having those private conversations.
Yeah.
at home. And it could be and on camera, of course, but, like, rather than airing out dirty laundry has never helped anyone. Look at
Yeah.
Vanderpump Rules,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
And
know?
what do you feel like being on the valley in this sort of new space, like what has it taught you about yourself? Because you've clearly evolved, you've like changed in front of our eyes in so many ways. And, I think there's a lot of people on the internet that are really rooting for you. Like what
Thank
have
you.
you like learned about yourself going through this process?
Oh gosh, I mean, what haven't I learned about myself? I mean, you think about, you or any of your listeners, like the friend groups that you have been in, and if someone had a camera on you for years and years and years, like what would that look like? So the best part and maybe could be one of the more painful parts is the watching back and the reliving. But after this many years, like, speaking for myself, like, when I watch it back, that's when I learn and grow because I can see, you only know your side, your version, your truth that you're living, and people can tell you what their version and their truth is. But when you get to see it right in front of your face, how you acted, how you handled conflict, that really speaks volumes. So that's been the most helpful to me. And especially having Kaya now, like, she's obviously my number one. My family is my number one, but I'm still a very outspoken person. I still have my opinions and I'm just gonna be me. Like I feel like it's like that old saying, like no one's a better version of you than you. So why try to be anyone else? So I just have to live out exactly what my truth is, watch it back, and then see if I can evolve even more from there.
Yeah, and I think that's what people gravitate towards you so much is because you are so real and you are so authentic, which, can be kind of the curse of being on reality TV is people I think they can get away with not showing up or trying to hide certain parts of themselves and then the audiences don't react in the same way. And so you've been able to
Yeah.
maintain such a career in reality TV because you are who you are, which I think is great.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, our audience isn't dumb, that when you're watching a show, it's kind of I always compare it to kind of like when you're watching a really great film or a scripted television show. If the actor is so wonderful that you are believing that they are this character, you're very invested, right?
Hmm.
And if it's not a great actor who they're sort of just reading lines, you're not invested. But it's the same thing with like a docu series like our show or a docu soap.
Yeah.
If people are telling the truth, that's when the audience gets invested because what our audience really does is they're looking for pieces of themselves to, like,
Hmm.
connect to what they're seeing us go through on camera. So you're not doing anyone any favors if you're being fake, and as we know, the truth always comes out.
Yeah. Yeah. And a bone collector you are, so you always carry the truth. So you will make sure it comes out.
You know it.
You mentioned like watching it back. Is that I know some people say they like won't watch the show on whatever show they're on because they don't want to relive certain moments or they don't want to like go back in history. Do you find that it's helpful to watch it? And like, does that do anything for how you appear the next season or how you approach your relationships differently?
Definitely, I do watch. I am not one of those people, it's like, "Oh, I never watch myself." No, I wanna see the scenes that I wasn't there for, so I know what was being said about me or
Mm,
the people that I love, and we always have a reunion at the end, so you really gotta, have all that in your knowledge bank so
right.
you can use it at the reunion.
Yeah.
But no, I would say there have definitely been years in the past where I've been like, "Okay, I watched myself, I need to learn and grow from that and be different and do different." But performing differently, it's kind of like what we were just talking about. If I will, yes, if I see something that I was very, in my feelings and I'm like, "No, I know I was, like, right about this thing," or my opinion was the correct one, and then I watch it back and I realize, I didn't really see the whole picture." That's an amazing learning lesson. But at the same time, I also get to go, "Oh, see, I was right. Oh, see." So, I think it's important to do your homework. It's not for
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah. And what do you feel like you want fans to like take away from this season? Like when they look back or when you look back and rewatch, what are you hoping that the audience is either connecting with or like takes away from your storyline this season?
This season in particular, as I'm watching it, I'm feeling more and more for my fiancé, even though my feelings are valid, my truth was exactly what you're seeing. the more now that Kaya's 10 months old rather than 3 months old, and we've lived a lot in raising our daughter together, I realize how very few resources there are out there for men in postpartum and like first time dads, because as I can say until I'm blue in the face, like Luke could never understand what it's like to carry a child, to give birth, to go through postpartum. I also have no idea what it's like to be in his shoes. And Luke is such like a manly man protector of all, like wants to be the leader of the family. It's how he was raised. And I've realized watching the show back and that like he feels pretty helpless.
Mm,
And so I would like for people to give him a little more grace because I guarantee that a lot of partners in their first year of parenthood have probably had very similar arguments, but they weren't on national television. They've had conversations with their friends, but they weren't on national television. So as much as I love and appreciate all of the women, and I've told Luke this, like, listen, you're going up against a lot of moms here and pregnant women and women going through postpartum. So they're just speaking from their own personal experience. It's not so much an attack on him. But so as much as I do appreciate all of that, I would love for some people to just kind of go, well, you know what? This is his first time too.
mhm.
And he is willing to be vulnerable, and that's really hard for him because he's not a really big feelings guy. So
Yeah,
I'm very proud of him for being honest and not just saying things that would make him like look good on camera.
yeah. No, I mean, again, like, you guys are both being authentic, so you guys are sharing that story, and unfortunately, like, as you mentioned, like, the audience may skew one way or the other, and so being on the
Well,
other
it's
end of that.
entertainment at the end of
Yeah,
the day too. You know, it's a
yeah,
television show and I want people to watch this and like laugh and have fun. Even though there are some like I guess heavier like real moments, but
mhm,
being postpartum in my first year of having a child, that's a temporary it's kind of what I tell like, talk with my girlfriends about and what I talk to Luke about. Like, this is a season of our life, and, like,
mm,
next season, we're gonna have a one-year-old, and it's probably
yeah,
gonna be a lot lighter and a lot more fun and less crazy, and then when, hopefully we get to have another baby, and maybe it'll be easier next time, and I don't know, just kind of, like just everyone just, like, be a little kind and try to have fun with it, and, that's all.
yeah, yeah, no, for sure, and what you mentioned, like, this next season and not just of the show, but also of your life now being a mother, what are you most excited about to kind of continue to showcase or maybe something new that you're continuing to bring to the audience?
Oh my gosh. I mean, this season's a lot of fun. We go on a couple of trips. There's a lot of chaos. But then moving forward, hopefully the Valley keeps moving forward and we get more seasons of the show to show all of this. Like Luke and I at some point would love to plan a wedding. We would still really love to get
Yeah,
married. Having a baby makes that impossible for me. But I think that will be so much fun. And I have my clothing company, James May, that took a little bit of a backseat during this period of filming because I was freshly postpartum. So all of that and like Luke and I just talking about like what we want next for ourselves when we're going to leave LA. We're in so many conversations like, do we want to buy a house in the Midwest, like in Nashville, and then rent it out? Or do we want to start building something? Or what do we want to do? Do we keep two places? So we're really at this crossroads now that I'm really excited about. I wasn't ready for it after giving birth, but coming up on this next year, I'm like, okay, I'm starting to feel a little more like myself again, which
yeah.
is super fun. Like I'm a really fun girl.
Yeah, absolutely. That is clear. And I knew that our paths were going to cross eventually watching the show because I'm from Colorado and live in Nashville now. So I was like,
Oh,
Luke
you
is
live in
like,
Nashville?
I
Oh,
do.
you
Yeah.
get
Yeah. Yeah. So I was like, Luke, I get why he's being drawn. I was like, eventually I'm going to see these people out. So I'll be,
yes, you will.
I will definitely be looking. I think, looking at this current season, what do you think is, the biggest surprise of this season that maybe is different from the previous ones?
Oh, I mean, we're only a few episodes in right now,
Yeah.
so I don't wanna give away too much, but as I'm watching it, I mean, it's kind of the Janet of it all
Mm,
is really interesting right now because this is why I like to watch the show back because I'm seeing conversations that are happening that I was not a part of,
mm,
and obviously, I know how everything ends at the finale.
right.
So I'm very interested to keep watching these conversations that I wasn't a part of to see kind of how her narrative changes. Because the one thing people didn't get to see was like Janet and I did actually have a sit down
Mm,
and we did speak, and I did give her an opportunity to kind of lay it out there for me and whether it was an apology or an ask for an apology or just like, let's just hash it all out right here and right now so we can figure out where we're starting from. And I didn't get anything from her that made me feel like it was worth that. So
interesting.
I'm kind of like with the audience right now, like,
Mm,
what do these conversations look like? And like,
yeah,
where is this
interesting.
gonna go? And what does this ride look like leading up to
Yeah.
the finale and then the reunion? So I think
Yeah.
that's gonna be really interesting.
Yeah, that will be. I think too, like this season feels lighter. And, obviously,
Yes.
like the previous seasons, like Jax was kind of like brought all of that Jax energy. And I've also been curious, like, he played a bit of the villain role on the show. And so I was like, I wonder how that's gonna transition with him gone. Do you also feel like even just when you were filming, what did you feel like it was lighter?
Oh, yes, definitely. Jax is and can be like a dark cloud that sort of reigns over a conversation and he commands attention and it's kind of a me show when it comes to him. So it gave the rest of us, especially Brittany, just room to breathe.
Mm,
And without all of that weight on Brittany, it just made her lighter, which made all of our friendships a lot more fun. And it just stopped the kind of BS gossip drama. We have like if we had cameras on us 24/7, everyone's minds would be blown. I swear it's like the day after we filmed some kind of party and then I wake up and I hear about 50 other things that happen. But it's like lighter, funnier, and I just like I didn't feel like Jax deserved a platform this year after
mm,
everything that Brittany went through. It just wasn't the time, wasn't the place. I'm just hoping that divorce is finalized soon. But,
yeah.
I always wish him well. I want him to be better. Cruz is like a nephew to me. I see them almost every single day. So I'm right there with Brittany on just the like Jax get better and see what happens from there.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to paint somebody a villain on these types of shows, but you also have really always been this like kind of middle of the road person for Jax who's always been like hard on him, but also rightfully so in a way that's like
Yeah,
actual friendship, which I think is what people really again gravitate towards your realness is like it's easy to just say like, oh, there's a cast member and everyone's kind of ganging up. But when you're like, hey, I'm going to give it to you real, but also because like we're friends and you guys have been doing this for so long together that like you can't avoid this friend that you are truly friends. Like
it's
there has to
wild.
be
Like
some
I've
level
known
of,
Jax almost 20 years. We met almost right like I got off the little car from Michigan and I met
yeah,
him months later.
yeah,
And that's kind of what started the whole Vanderpump of it all. It was like, I met Jax, he introduced me to Tom Sandoval, and then we start dating, and then et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we do have so much history, and I'm close with his sister, and Brittany and Cruz are family to me. So it's infuriating to see how what he's done over especially the last 5 years has been really difficult. So we do want him to get better. And I do care about him. It's like very much like I care, but sometimes I really hate you. So just like get better, dude. Keep your eyes off our show right now. Like let
yeah,
us do what we're doing. Focus on you, and then who knows what the future brings. But
yeah,
that's his one job right
yeah. Well, since we said it's a little bit lighter, like, is there a word that, and we're early in the season, so maybe this is just more of a tease, but like, is there one word that you would use to describe this season?
now. One word is I think it is like hilariously chaotic. There
Perfect.
is
We'll
so much
hyphenate.
chaos coming. Even I don't know if it'll be in next week's episode or the following week when we're in San Diego. There's so much chaos, but some of it's so ridiculous. And that is what I am the most looking forward to.
Amazing. Amazing. Do you feel like there's the one cast member that you feel like is the comic relief, especially given that you just said
Zach,
hilarious?
Zach,
Zach.
hands down, Zach,
Yeah.
the number one guy in the group. My God, he makes me laugh every single day of my life. And when I watch these one liners, and this is really how Zach is like a little behind the scenes, like when we go in to do those like interview moments
Hmm.
and bites, like I'll be honest, it's not my favorite thing to do. That goes in like, I have interviews today. Like, I can't wait. He would sit there for 12 hours straight if they would let him. and just like dish and talk. And he's so witty, he's hysterical, he's honest and true. And yeah, Zach is the number one guy in the group. He cracks me up.
That's amazing. Yeah, that is very true. And then staying on the like one word train, like what's one word that describes your life right now?
Blissful.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. That's a great place to
Yeah.
be. 10 months
I'm thinking my
into,
kid, and I'm like, "How lucky am I?" Like, she's about to start walking, she's like her own little person now. She expresses, she emotes, she's chatting a little bit. I mean, she thinks she's chatting a lot, but I'm very, very lucky. Like, when the times get tough, I have to, like, sit back and say, like, "Remember, this is something you always wanted, and you would have done anything to be in the place that you are now." So I
yeah,
feel very lucky.
I feel like you guys are going to all start fighting over babysitters. There's so many kids coming.
I know, it's wild. It's wild.
Well, I know that, you've had this long career on reality TV. Do you feel like this is something that just stays with you indefinitely, or do you feel like at some point you mentioned another child, a wedding, maybe a move, like is there ever a time that you're like, yeah, I think I've done that, or are you just like right now I'm
I'm
happy living
having a
my life
great
on TV?
time.
Yeah.
I feel very lucky to have had a chance to be back after leaving Vanderpump Rules. It was something I was very nervous about starting the Valley season 1, and I'm so grateful that the audience welcomed me with open arms and they were willing to give me a shot, and I don't plan on letting anyone down, and I don't not planning on disappointing anyone, and I feel like I've done this almost my entire adult life, and whether it is in the scope of, like, the Valley on Bravo, I don't know how long that lasts or how long it makes sense, but something in the realm of, yeah, of television is
Yeah.
where I'm happy.
Amazing. And I think that that like gives us to kind of this final question of if the Kristen from season 1 Vanderpump you could, or if you could see Kristen from season 1 Vanderpump, like what do you think that you would say to her now?
I would recommend that she get Botox first and foremost. I would give her a really big hug and just tell her to hang in there and it's gonna be okay. Like, it always is, but just, you know, keep your chin up.
Yeah.
I would really hug her. She needed a lot of love back then. She
Yeah.
she didn't have a lot of self-esteem, not a whole lot of confidence.
Well, I think too, like the people still related. So that was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, I'm like at the same time, I'm like, "Stay crazy, moon baby." You know what I mean? Like, be you, do you, but just, like, keep your chin up, it's gonna get easier.
Yeah. And I think vice versa. If she could see you today, what do you think that she would say to you?
Oh my god, I think she would just be crying because we have the most perfect little baby girl,
And that's
and
what
it
she
took
wanted.
a lot of work to get here, but yeah, that's what she always wanted from a very young age. It was just I've always wanted to be a mom. So I think Kristen at 27 years old would be very proud.
Yeah. I think she'd be very proud of you. I think that you
Yeah,
like, as someone just as a fan of the show and as a loyal watcher through all of these years and journeys, like, you are someone and I watch a lot, probably too much reality TV, but I like so I know a lot of different characters. I know a lot of different people that have come and gone. And, you are someone who has really evolved. You have a story, you have an arc, like you are in this like amazing place and it's really awesome to see you
thank you.
thriving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think in between the season 1 Vanderpump Kristen and the season 3 Valley Kristen, there was a Kristen who figured out how to own the crazy instead of, like, pushing it away and making everything worse. So I think when you kind of, like, own your strong suits, what like, I'm very analytical and, that's the detective Doute me, and I'm a little crazy and a little out there and a little wild, and I think if you can really own those things about yourself instead of fighting them, then people will accept you for who you are.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
No, it's very beautiful. Well, I am so glad that our paths finally crossed, and
Me too.
hopefully we will run into each other when you come to
Yeah, I'm
Nashville.
I'm gonna hit you up about Nashville. I have so many questions.
Yeah, I can show you all the places to be
Love
and
it.
not be.
Yes.
But yeah, it was great to chat with you today. I'm super excited about the Valley this season and seeing it all play out. We will be keeping our eyes on that relationship with you and Janet. And yeah, is there anything that you'd like to plug? Do you want to tell folks where to follow you to continue to watch your journey?
Yeah, you can follow me on all platforms at Kristen Doute, and my book is still selling, it's making me crazy. Have I've taken a bit of a hiatus from my podcast. I'm coming out with something new and really, really fun that will be on YouTube shortly. And James made my clothing line. We just did a really awesome 70s vintage style photo shoot, and I'll just dropped a new line. So you can check that out at jamesmay.co.
Amazing, amazing. Well, Kristen, it was great to chat with you today. Thank you so much
Thanks so
for
much.
joining. And thank you all for listening. Don't forget to check out The Valley on Bravo and streaming next day on Peacock. And until next time, I'm Chris Vetrano, and that's the gist.